If you want to absolutely decimate your enemies throughout the lands of Lordran, then having a magic weapon at your side will spell the path to victory. With that in mind, here are all 12 weapons in Dark Souls that by default dish out that magic power you so desire. Number 12. The Crystal Ring Shield can be obtained by ascending almost any standard plus 10 shield, alongside the Soul of the Moonlight Butterfly with the Giant Blacksmith in Anor Londo. To upgrade the Crystal Ring Shield to its maximum level of plus 5, you will need a grand total of 10 Demon Titanites and 25,000 souls. The Crystal Ring Shield has the highest magic damage reduction of any shield in Dark Souls, of 90%, and what makes it special is that it can also act as an offensive weapon, whereby pressing either L2 or R2, depending on which hand it's held in, launches out a vertical magical disc that will strike your enemies at range. However, this will use up 4 durability points per use, but as the shield has 120 durability to start off with, shouldn't make this much of an issue. In its base state, this magic attack will deal 100 magic damage, and when fully upgraded will do 150 magic damage. The Crystal Ring Shield requires 10 levels in strength to wield, making it very accessible for all players, especially those wanting to dabble in a little magic, without having to commit any levels into intelligence. One thing of note is that even though this weapon is called the Crystal Ring Shield, it is not a crystal weapon, and can therefore be repaired. Due to its high magic damage reduction, this shield is a must-have for anyone going up against sorcery-wielding foes, and coupled with its fun moveset and special attack, make this a fantastic magic shield both defensively and offensively. Number 11. The Stone Greatsword can be obtained either as a 2% drop from the Great Stone Knights located in the Darkroot Garden, or it can be purchased for 15,000 souls from Shiva of the East, who is located in Blighttown by the Elevator Water Wheel, but they will only appear if you are a member of the Forest Hunter Covenant. To upgrade the Stone Greatsword to its maximum level of plus 5, you will need a grand total of 10 Twinkling Titanites and 10,000 souls. To wield it, you will need 40 levels in strength and 10 levels in dexterity, making this greatsword a top choice for strength intelligence builds. While the Stone Greatsword has a C scaling in strength and dexterity and an E scaling in intelligence, its base damage output is 148 physical and 100 magic damage, going up to 222 physical and 150 magical damage when fully upgraded. With level 99 stats, the maximum damage this weapon can dish out is 476 physical and 172 magic damage, making a combined 649 damage output. While this makes the Stone Greatsword the second lowest for magic damage alone, when combined with its physical damage output makes it the third highest combined damage output weapon on this list. On top of this, the Stone Greatsword has a nifty special attack. Performing a two-handed heavy unleashes a spell that will slow down most enemies within a close vicinity. However, this does come at the cost of 200 durability, and while your weapon does have 800 total durability, this will get eaten away pretty quickly. Overall, the Stone Greatsword is an extremely underrated greatsword. Granted, yes, it weighs almost as much as a tank, but having the ability to slow down your enemies massively helps to counter the slower swings it performs, and any enemy you do make contact with will surely meet a very, very quick end. Number 10. Astora's Straight Sword can be obtained in the Valley of the Drakes, lying on the floor just in front of the Undead Dragon. If you chose the Master Key as your starting gift, then the Astora Straight Sword can be obtained almost immediately upon arriving at Firelink Shrine, by taking the lift down to New Londo Ruins and back up to the Valley of the Drakes. To upgrade Astora's Straight Sword to its maximum level of plus 5, you will need a grand total of 10 Twinkling Titanites and 10,000 souls. Even though you can obtain this weapon almost straight away, you will need to have 10 levels in both strength and dexterity, and 14 levels in faith. This makes it a perfect early game weapon for anyone who chooses the Cleric starter class, but for all other classes you will need to invest some levels. Astora's Straight Sword has a C scaling in strength, dexterity and faith, and has split damage output between physical and magic damage, starting at a base 80 physical and 80 magic, going up to 120 apiece when fully upgraded. And as it's standard for most straight swords, it weighs 3 units and has 160 durability. With level 99 stats, it is possible to get a maximum damage of 242 physical and 181 magic damage, making a combined 423 damage, which while decent, is still amongst the bottom 4 for both magical and combined damage output on this list. One bonus of the Astora Straight Sword is that it has a 120 Divine Auxiliary effect. This makes it so that you are able to kill the skeletons in the catacombs and the Tomb of the Giants without the need to kill their necromancers first, as it prevents them from reanimating. Astora's Straight Sword is possibly the perfect starter weapon for faith builds wanting to dish out some magic damage, and it's a must-have for anyone wanting to take on the catacombs prior to obtaining the Divine Ember, with little or no investment in faith. Number 9. The Dark Moon Bow can be obtained by ascending any standard plus 10 bow with the Soul of Gwyndolin at the Giant Blacksmith in Anor Londo. To upgrade the bow to its maximum level of plus 5, you will need a total of 10 Demon Titanites and 25,000 souls. The Dark Moon Bow is the only bow in Dark Souls that scales with faith, albeit a D-scaling, plus an E-scaling in strength and D-scaling in dexterity. In its base state, it will deal 85 physical damage and 85 magic damage, and when fully upgraded, it will do 127 physical damage and 127 magical damage. With level 99 stats, the Darkmoon Bow has the potential to deal 191 physical and 191 magic damage, making a combined 382 damage output. To wield the bow, you will need 7 levels in strength, 16 in dexterity, and 16 in faith. Plus, as it states in the item description, it's most impressive with moonlight arrows. So make sure you put the right ones in your quiver to get the most out of this bow. Overall, the Darkmoon Bow generally outperforms other bows upgraded down the divine or occult path, and as it is classified as a short bow, it has a much quicker rate of fire. Number 8. The Titanite Catchpole can only be obtained as a 10% rare drop from the Titanite Demons, but as luck would have it, there is one respawning Titanite Demon in the Lost Izalith shortcut that you can use for farming this weapon. To upgrade the Titanite Catchpole to its maximum level of +5, you will need a grand total of 10 Twinkling Titanites and 10,000 souls. In its base state, it will deal 125 physical damage and 145 magic damage, going up to 187 physical and 217 magic damage output when fully upgraded. With level 99 stats, the Titanite Catchpole has the potential to unleash 318 physical and 304 magic damage, making a combined 623 damage output. To wield it, you will need to have 16 levels in strength and 14 in dexterity, and it has a descaling across strength, dexterity, and intelligence. The Titanite Catchpole has a unique special attack, whereby you jump into the air and strike down onto the floor, knocking back your enemies. This weapon is extremely fun to wield, and if you are lucky enough to obtain one in the Undead Parish, it can absolutely destroy the early game, and due to its low stat requirements, makes it super accessible for anyone wanting to dish out some magic damage, without having a build focused around faith or intelligence. Number 7. Velka's Rapier can be obtained in the Painted World of Ariamis. Just head up the stairs in the annex, and once at the top you will find a boarded up doorway on your right. Break this down and you will find Velka's Rapier on the body at the end of the path. To upgrade Velka's Rapier to its maximum level of +5, you will need a grand total of 10 Twinkling Titanites and 10,000 souls. In its base state, it will deal 62 physical and 104 magic damage, going up to 93 physical and 156 magic damage when fully maxed out. With level 99 stats, Velka's Rapier will deal 146 physical and 307 magic damage, making a combined total of 454 damage output. To wield it, you will need 8 levels in strength, 16 in dexterity, and 16 levels in intelligence. And given that this weapon is only available from the halfway point of the game, most intelligence dex builds will have well exceeded these requirements. Plus, they won't go wasted as Velka's Rapier has an E scaling in strength, C in dex, and B scaling in intelligence. In addition to all this, Velka's Rapier has a 110 occult auxiliary effect. This means that you will do an additional 10% damage to certain gods and their followers, such as the Black Knight, Silver Knight, Paladin Leroy, Dragon Slayer Ornstein, Dark Sun Gwendolyn, and Gwyn, Lord of Cinder. On top of all this, as Velka's Rapier is a thrusting sword, it has a hidden critical multiplier, causing it to potentially deal well over 1000 damage when performing a critical attack. Even though Velka's Rapier is at the bottom half of my list on both magic damage and overall combined damage, due to its quick moveset, relatively low requirements, B intelligence scaling, occult auxiliary effect, and its critical multiplier absolutely make this weapon a must try for any intelligence dex builds, and I can guarantee you that you will love this weapon. Before we move on to the next one, if you are enjoying the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and ring that bell to make sure you don't miss out on even more Dark Souls content. Number 6. The Crescent Axe can either be purchased from Patches the Hyena in Firelink Shrine for 10,000 souls, or will be dropped by him when killed. To upgrade the Crescent Axe to its maximum level of +5, you will need a grand total of 10 Twinkling Titanites and 10,000 souls. In its base state, it will deal 115 physical and 115 magic damage, and when fully upgraded, goes up to 172 physical and 172 magic damage output. With level 99 stats, it will do 250 physical and 313 magic damage, with a combined damage output of 564. It has a D scaling in strength and dexterity, and B scaling in faith, and while this isn't the best, it is a solid choice for any strength faith builds. In addition to this, it also has a 120 divine auxiliary effect, allowing it to kill skeletons without the need to kill their necromancers first. And as it's obtainable by killing Patches next to the hidden second bonfire in the catacombs, could come in very handy for tackling the rest of that area. Number 5. The Channeler's Trident is possibly the most difficult weapon to obtain in Dark Souls, as it only has a 1% chance to drop from the channelers located in the Undead Parish, Depths, and the Duke's Archives. Unfortunately, only the channelers in the Duke's Archives respawn, so that's where you will have to do any farming if you don't drop lucky on the first try. To upgrade the Channeler's Trident to its maximum level of +5, you will need a grand total of 10 Twinkling Titanites and 10,000 souls. In its base state, it will do 70 physical and 115 magic damage, going up to 105 physical and 172 magic damage. At level 99 stats, it can achieve 174 physical and 324 magic damage, with a combined damage output of 498. It has an E scaling in strength, C in dexterity, and B scaling in intelligence, making it a worthy option for dex intelligence builds. It has a special heavy attack that, like the in-game channelers, causes the player to do a little dance. This will then buff the attack power of any allies or summons by 20% and lasts for around 30 seconds. But this does come at the cost of 80 durability points per use, and as you only have 240 durability to start with, you can only use this special 3 times between repairs. This is a very handy long-reach weapon to wield, and due to having a higher combined damage output and lower upgrade costs compared to, say, the Moonlight Butterfly Horn, makes this the better option where magic spears are concerned. Number 4. The Great Sword of Artorias can be obtained by ascending a standard plus 10 broken straight sword or straight sword hilt alongside the Soul of Sif at the Giant Blacksmith in Anor Londo. To upgrade the Great Sword of Artorias to its maximum level of plus 5, you will need a total of 10 Demon Titanites and 25,000 souls. In its base state, it deals 120 physical and 85 magic damage, and when fully upgraded will do 180 physical and 127 magic damage. And as it has a C scaling in both strength and dexterity, and a B scaling in both intelligence and faith, at level 99 stats, it has the potential to unleash 378 physical and 344 magic damage, making a combined damage output of 722, the second highest combined damage output on this list. In addition to this, it also has a 140 divine damage modifier and a passive 20% damage modifier against Servants of the Abyss, which includes Dark Wraiths, the Four Kings, and Kirk, Knight of Thorns, making it a great choice when traversing the lower New Londo ruins and the catacombs. However, in order to wield the Great Sword of Artorias, you will need 24 levels in strength, 18 in dexterity, 20 in intelligence, and 20 in faith. Given this large spread of required stats in order to wield the Great Sword of Artorias, it does make it extremely difficult for any builds to justify speccing for this weapon. But that being said, this is an extremely epic weapon to wield, and as it utilises broad slashes, slow brutal strong attacks, and is extremely satisfying to stagger your enemies with, makes this a weapon that you just have to try. Number 3. The Moonlight Butterfly Horn can be obtained by ascending any standard plus 10 spear or plus 10 thrusting sword alongside the soul of the Moonlight Butterfly with the Giant Blacksmith in Anor Londo. To upgrade the Moonlight Butterfly Horn to its maximum level of plus 5, you will need a grand total of 10 Demon Titanites and 25,000 souls. Once obtained, the Moonlight Butterfly Horn will deal purely magic damage and has a B scaling with intelligence. So even though it's described as a thrust weapon, it will deal no physical damage. It has a base magic damage of 120 and goes up to 180 when maxed out, but this will be higher due to its intelligence scaling. And at level 99 stat, it has the potential to dish out 360 magic damage, the third highest magic damage output on this list. For anyone doing an intelligence build, the Moonlight Butterfly Horn is a great option to go with. The boss soul is available early on in the game, and the horn has low requirements of 12 strength and 14 intelligence. Being a spear in nature, it offers a long-range moveset that means you can poke and prod your way to victory without the need to put yourself in too much harm's way. Number 2. The Grant is a great hammer that can only be obtained by killing Paladin Leroy just at the end of the Tomb of the Giants. To upgrade the Grant to its maximum level of plus 5, you will need a grand total of 10 Twinkling Titanites and 10,000 souls. In its base state, it will deal 130 physical and 130 magic damage, and when fully upgraded will deal 195 physical and 195 magic damage. At level 99 stats, it will unleash a staggering 358 physical and 421 magic damage, with the highest combined damage output on this list of 780 damage. To wield the Grant, you will need 50 levels in strength and 30 levels in faith. And while this may be a lot, for any strength faith build, every single one of these levels will be utilised as the Grant has a B scaling in strength and an A scaling in faith. In addition to this, the Grant has a very special heavy attack that unleashes a shockwave in every single direction, knocking any non-enemy boss back, and as we know, dealing high levels of damage all round. But as with most special weapons, this one does use up 200 durability, and with only 600 to start with, means you will only be able to use it 3 times between repairs. The Grant also has a 130 Divine Auxiliary effect, allowing you to take out skeletons without the need to kill their necromancers first. But one extra bonus is that this special shockwave attack also has the Divine Auxiliary effect, meaning you can utilise it to kill skeletons. The Grant by no means is a quick weapon, weighing in at a whopping 24 units, make this the heaviest weapon on today's list. But I do feel that when you combine both its insanely high damage with its ability to knock back enemies with its special, make this a phenomenally good magic weapon for any strength faith builds. Number 1. And now to the granddaddy of them all, the Mona Lisa of From Software's weapon catalogue. It's the Moonlight Greatsword, and this weapon can only be obtained by chopping off the tail of Seath the Scaleless. To upgrade the Moonlight Greatsword to its maximum level of +5, you will need a grand total of 10 Dragon Scales and 50,000 souls. In its base state, the Moonlight Greatsword will deal 132 pure magic damage, and when fully upgraded, will deal 198 magic damage. It starts off with an A scaling in intelligence, but at +3 it will then increase to an S scaling. At level 99 stats, the Moonlight Greatsword will unleash the highest magic damage of all the weapons on this list, at an astonishing 521 magical damage output. In order to wield this iconic weapon, you will need to have 16 levels in strength, 10 in dexterity, and 28 in intelligence. One of the Moonlight Greatsword's most iconic moves is its heavy special attack, whereby it will launch magical blades at your enemies, which then explodes on impact. This special attack does use up durability. One-handed uses 20 durability, and two-handed uses 40 durability per use. While its overall damage makes this weapon number 6 on my list, for pure magic damage output, this iconic greatsword with its S scaling in intelligence is the magic weapon. And if you ever do an intelligence build and don't get this weapon as soon as it's available, then you are sorely missing out on one of the best magical experiences the game has to offer. And for now, that's it. As with all my videos, please remember Dark Souls is a vastly complex game, so determining the best of anything is always subject to the enemy you're fighting, the situation you find yourself in, and the type of player that you are. This video covers all the weapons that by default output magic damage, and is ordered by that magic damage, as can be seen here by this list. But fret not, I will be covering the best weapons that you can ascend down the magic and enchanted path in a future video. But for the time being, let me know in the comment section below which of these weapons is your favourite, and which one you think just belongs in the trash. As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Dark Souls content.